Counsel for the people, Mr. Thomas.
The witness.
The court.
Defense counsel, Mr. Mayor. Begins with defense counsel on the record. About the Velveeta cheese box, that looks like a pretty close fit to me, doesn't it to you?
Yes.
Did you try shoving that box under that little rail that is resting up against on the top?
No, I didn't.
Did you try tying some kind of a sheet line around it and then having to pull it through that little thing?
The only thing I was requested to do was be present when the photographs were taken. I didn't even touch the box.
I'm through, Your Honor.
Lieutenant Rohrer, with respect to the Velveeta cheese box, does the cover on that cheese box appear to be all the way down to the floor, or does there appear to be some space between it and the floor?
I'll get my specs on.
I think I missed something, Judge. May I look?
By that I mean, does the box appear to be crushed down, as it is underneath the bottom of the grill gate?
No.
Now, well, I think that's a matter of argument. I don't have any further questions on that.
I have one more question.
I'm not finished yet, counsel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You indicated that you didn't prepare any report of your conversations with Fletcher. Do you normally prepare reports of information or statements made in confidence to you by inmates?
Not normally, no.
All right. At the time you received that statement from Fletcher about Price being a businessman, were you the AC lieutenant at that time or your other function that you described?
I was the criminal activities coordinator at that time.
You have indicated that you have had numerous conversations with Fletcher. Has that been after he left the Adjustment Center, or before, or both?
I have had more conversations since he came back to the Adjustment Center. I had spoken to him previously, yes.
And the conversations that you had regarding his testifying in court, that occurred after he came back from the Adjustment Center from the C-section?
He came back from C-section to the Adjustment Center, yes.
All right, and it was after that you had the conversation about his testifying in court?
Yes.
How long have you been a member of the California Department of Corrections?
I started at San Quentin in 1965. I had a 2.5-year break as far as a state employee, but I was still employed at San Quentin.
And so you have been at San Quentin for a total of about, say, 12 or 13 years?
No, approximately 15 and a half to 16.
15 and a half to 16, okay. Based on your contact with Fletcher, can you think of any reason why he would tell you that he was going to get up on the stand and lie? Why would he tell you that?
I don't have any idea except that that is what he was going to do. He is normally pretty honest with me.
You have had conversations with him before, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you? At the time that you had this conversation with him, had you established what would be termed did you have a good rapport with him?
Objection, Your Honor. That calls for a conclusion of this witness and also for the state of mind of Fletcher.
Well,
I think
I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question. Frame it so it is not calling for Fletcher's frame of mind.
as far as your belief at that time, did you feel that you had a good rapport with him?
Yes.
Now, you indicated that you felt that that statement that he made to you was given to you in confidence. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did you tell anybody about that statement prior to it being known that Fletcher was going to take the stand?
Yes, I told you about it.
About how long ago was it that you told me about it?
Since the trial has been in progress.
And was...
I don't recall.
Excuse me.
I don't recall. It has probably been 2 weeks ago, something like that.
And was that after I had mentioned to you that Fletcher was going to be one of the witnesses called by the defense?
Yes.
And was it at that time that you told me what you have testified here in court today about his statement?
Yes.
Did you express any reluctance about coming forward and testifying about that?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this as being leading and extremely self-serving.
Sustained.
At the time that you gave me that information, what were your feelings about having to take the stand and reveal that information?
I told you that I didn't want to testify. I told you that I didn't want to testify. I told you that I didn't want to testify to it.
And why was that?
Because I felt that Fletcher told me these things in confidence, and I don't like to reveal things that inmates do tell me in confidence.
All right. Would you say that you have a reputation at San Quentin of being able to keep a confidence?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this witness testifying about his own reputation.
Maybe he heard it and discussed.
I'll sustain the objection.
Do you feel that you're able to generally keep statements that are given to you by inmates confidential?
Your Honor, his feelings are irrelevant.
I'll sustain the objection.
Do you generally keep confidential the statements that are given?
His habit, custom...
Can I?
Pardon me, counsel, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
You might want to sit down while I finish the question.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you generally keep confidential the statements given to you by inmates in confidence?
Your Honor, I object to that. His habit, custom, and practice are likewise irrelevant.
Circumstantial evidence of the fact that inmates will trust him with statements such as the one Fletcher made.
That calls, excuse me, counsel,
Go ahead.
that calls for third parties' states of mind and trust.
I'll sustain the objection.
Did you express this reluctance to me on just one occasion or more than one occasion?
Objection, Your Honor, that's hearsay. That calls for an out-of-court statement by the declarant.
It is a declarant state of mind, Your Honor.
I'll overrule the objection. It will be received for that limited purpose.
Your Honor, I would also object that his state of mind in this question is irrelevant.
The objection will be overruled. You may answer the question.
Do you recall the question?
Not specifically.
We'll have it read back.
More than one.
And did I indicate to you whether or not I would reveal the confidence depending upon whether Fletcher testified or didn't testify?
You told me that if Fletcher didn't...
Objection, Your Honor, that calls for hearsay on the part of an out-of-court declarant who is in court but who nevertheless is not under oath.
It is a statement that he made, Your Honor.
It is a statement.
I think, as I recall, the question calls for what he said to him, not vice versa.
But it is relevant evidence on his state of mind and his attitude about getting up on the stand and testifying and revealing a confidence. I think I have the right to show that Lieutenant Rohr does not and did not want to take the stand and testify as to the conversation, because I think it is something that the jury will want to consider for whatever...
He has already so testified through your examination. I'll sustain the objection under 352 of the Evidence Code, if for no other reason.
And were any statements made at that time as to the necessity to bring out that information should Fletcher testify?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for a hearsay response.
Offered for the purpose of circumstantial evidence of his state of mind, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
It is trying to get in what Mr. Thomas said to Mr. Rohr, and...
Well, I'm going to invoke 352. The witness has already testified about the confidential status and the reluctance to reveal it.
I have nothing further.
May I look at the court's file for just a moment to see when the order for Fletcher first came out?
Yes.
Lieutenant, when did Mr. Thomas first talk to you about this case?
Approximately, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, we had some discussion when he came to the adjustment center prior to the trial. I don't recall how long ago it was.
The Adjustment Center, that was back in November, was it? October 30th or so?
Yes, I believe so.
And what was your discussion with Mr. Thomas? What was the subject matter of your discussions at that time, sir?
I'd say he was in the adjustment center looking at things, and I just assisted him, walked around with him, more or less.
And he told you he was going to be the deputy trying the case?
Yes, I believe so.
He told you what the case was about?
I knew what the case was about.
It didn't come as big news to you then, right?
No.
I'll object to that as being irrelevant and argumentative.
I'll overrule it. It has already been answered.
Did he tell you at all about the October 30th, 1980 order requesting the presence of Don Fletcher as a witness by the defense? This order here that I'm showing you in the court's file. See the one dated October 30th, 1980?
I don't think we talked about witnesses at all.
Okay, so other than that, when was the next time that you talked to Mr. Thomas about this case?
It was prior to my prior testimony.
Prior to your prior testimony?
Yes.
Okay, one question I wanted to ask you before. As you have been administering over these SHU 1 and 2, and I'm showing you again photograph number 89, how many times in your experience have you seen those Velveeta cheese boxes flinging along the line, running down the tiers?
When I took over the adjustment center in April, the first day that I walked into the adjustment center, I saw a fish line down that tier.
Yes.
I put out an order, that there would be no fish lines on the tier, period.
Okay, but before you took over the adjustment center, certainly you had to set foot in there a few times in your career, right, Lieutenant?
Yes.
Okay, at those times there were fish lines there, right?
Yes.
And how many times in your experience did you see a Velveeta cheese box flinging along the fish line down the adjustment center hallway?
I didn't pay any attention. I don't know that I ever have.
Did you ever see one come winging under that little gate there that divides cells 8 from 9?
Not that I recall, no.
Did you ever see one hit the gate and its contents go clattering to the floor, clatter, clatter? If it were metal, did you hear it?
No.
You didn't understand that?
No, I understood it. My answer is no.
Oh, thank you. No other questions?
Anything else, Mr. Thomas?
I'll just ask one other question about the Velveeta cheese box.
I was afraid of that.
Are the Velveeta cheese boxes that you have seen in the Adjustment Center, have all of them been as solid and as new looking as the one that is in that photograph?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to that. All of the Velveeta cheese boxes, that is irrelevant. All of the Velveeta cheese boxes.
I think the witness has already testified he doesn't recall ever seeing them flying around, so I don't know if they are old, new, or damaged.
You indicated you haven't seen any Velveeta cheese boxes winging along the tier. Have you seen any creeping along for chance? No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
I didn't catch the answer.
I don't think there was an answer.